Hello, everybody. My name is James Phoenix, and welcome to the Lair of the Phoenix Christmas Special. Little late this year. It's technically Christmas Day here in the Eastern Time Zone, but here it is. I am your host, James Phoenix, as always. Joining me tonight is Marcus Shadow.
Merry Christmas!
Okay, then.
Too much holiday cheer?
Too much insincere holiday cheer.
Who says I'm being insincere? That's Mole's job.
Well, Mole's not here, and I think you're feeling it nicely. Anyway. So, this year we're going to try to keep up our tradition from last year's Christmas special, in that we're going to take a look at 3 Christmas specials, 2 of which will be for the Power Rangers, and the third of which will be an unrelated Christmas special. This year we're taking a look at I'm Dreaming of a White Ranger from Season 3 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. We're taking a look at Christmas Together, Friends Forever from Power Rangers Samurai. And we're taking a look at the 2000 live-action film Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, starring Jim Carrey.
Although I believe the movie itself was just called The Grinch, was it not?
What's that?
So I do believe the movie itself was called The Grinch, was it not?
No, it was called How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Was it? Oh, okay.
It was. The Dr. Seuss part was actually on there too. I mean, all the posters they advertised it as just The Grinch, but the full name of the film was promoted as theatrically as The Grinch, but the name was still, officially speaking, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it was kind of confusing.
Fair enough.
Indeed. So anyway, we're going to start off with the Power Rangers specials, and we will get back to the Grinch in just a few minutes.
You're looking at something.
Now I'm looking at the information for the stuff that we're talking about.
Fair enough.
I thought it would be useful to have it out.
Good call.
So the first thing on our list is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 3, Episode 31 if you're going by the airing order, Episode 16 if you're going by the production order. Episode entitled I'm Dreaming of a White Ranger.
Which has nothing to do with the episode itself.
The White Ranger, the guy who is the White Ranger appears anyway, even if he doesn't appear as the White Ranger.
Yes, but the White Ranger himself isn't there, nor is there ever a dream at all in that episode.
It's a play on the song I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas.
I know.
Oh, damn it.
I still find it interesting that it basically has nothing to do with the episode.
Yeah, well. It was for the sake of a title.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Dreaming of a White Ranger was originally aired on November 23rd, 1995. And in the episode, Lord Zed decides that he's going to take over the North Pole and force the elves to manufacture his evil toys, little spinning tops, that will hypnotize the children of the world into thinking that Lord Zed is their master. He sends Rito and the Tangas and later Goldar down to enforce this new rules on the North Pole, and Zordon summons the Rangers to go and defeat them. At the same time, the Rangers are dealing with the holiday pageant and festivities at the Juice Bar, including Aisha training the choir to sing songs for the production. But one little girl is sad that her father has to work and won't be there to see her sing. Also, junior police officers Bulk and Skull are present on the premises, and will be playing Santa and Reindeer for the production as well. Due to a cross-current of holiday magic in the North Pole's unique magnetic polarity, Ranger powers do not work there, so they must find a way to defeat Rito, Goldar, and the Tangas without their powers. And of course...
Which isn't that hard, considering they don't have powers either.
Pretty much. So, what did you think of the episode, Marcus?
I find it interesting that they took the character voiced by a Jewish man and made him make evil dreidels.
Fair enough.
I do believe Axelrod is Jewish, is he not?
He might be, I don't know. I do not actually know.
But, I mean, overall, it wasn't a terrible episode. It had a good message. The primary kid actress was kind of bad, but then again, she it was probably the first and maybe the only thing she's been in. I don't know if she's been in more than this, but you could tell this was one of her first things. And kid, I mean, really, some kids are prodigies and they're really good. Some aren't, especially at that age. But
Yep.
But then again, Mrs. Power Rangers, even the adults aren't that good.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was a pretty decent episode. The character stuck to character, and yeah, Zed's plan was kind of out there and kind
A little
of
bit.
what the fuck-ish, but still. It worked. Although I do have to say, yeah, North Pole on Christmas is kind of a Deus Ex Machina in Power Rangers. It's like, wait, really? So North Pole polarity just outright negates the morphing grid? Are you serious? And somehow the morphing grid and evil space alien power are on the same frequency or wavelength? Really? Isn't that incredibly convenient? But hey, it's Power Rangers. So you
It
can
is
kind of
Power
overlook stuff.
Rangers. It is. It is.
My only real complaint is no Power Rangers. What the hell? Like, the characters were there, but you didn't get any morphing or anything. And it's like, really?
Yeah, that was a little unusual, but it made sense because you don't want Power Rangers fighting at Santa's workshop. That kind of ruins the spirit of Christmas.
Who said they had to fight the workshop? I thought they would figure out a way to lure Rito and the Tangas out of the workshop back into the, quote, the real world, unquote, and then they would just morph and kick ass.
Maybe, but that would have been hard. That would have been hard to do, and this was more holiday funish.
True.
Yeah, that was kind of the idea.
Yeah, the problem, though, is without the Power Ranger side of things, with the way this was structured, yeah, it kind of highlighted just how bad of the actors they were. Because in this episode, they're forced to act and do nothing but act because it's only them. Whereas in a standard Power Rangers episode, they only have to do half the acting because the other half of the time they're in the suits.
Right.
And half the time that they're acting, it's going to be kind of a little over the top anyway, and it's going to be more, oh, we have to save the world. Ha, Zed, you're an idiot. We're going to kick your ass. But in this one, they actually had to act, and they actually had to do like emotional scenes and stuff. And I mean, all things considered, they did a decent job, and they'd been doing this for like 3 years at this point, or 2.5 years. So, they were better in this than they were in the beginning, but at the same time, because of what they had to do, it just kind of highlighted the fact that, yeah, they're not natural actors.
Pretty much.
But I enjoyed the episode, and for what I enjoyed it for what it was, and for the time, if you watched it at the time that it aired, or at the appropriate age, it's fun, and you don't really get into the nitpicky stuff at that age.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to see the Rangers fighting at Santa's workshop, and you don't associate violence with that, so it makes sense they wouldn't want to have the violence going on in that same episode, because Santa wouldn't approve of them beating up bad guys. Yes, they're doing it for good, but that still doesn't look great, So it makes sense that they do it that way, just kind of do it in a fun way to take them out, have a fun Christmas thing. And then the nice message of the little girl gets back with her father at the end of the episode. Kimberly's parents show up because she was missing her parents. They sing the songs for the Christmas pageant, and it's all pretty good. So it all works out at the end. It's just a nice little sweet Christmas episode.
It's actually kind of funny that you said that Santa wouldn't approve of violence, considering I would say at least half of the representations of Santa in like film media, yeah, he's usually the one conducting the violence.
Okay then.
Well, think about it. I mean, you have stuff like Rise of the Guardians, Santa with tattoos beating people's faces in. Come on. You have Santa's Sleigh with Bill Goldberg.
Stay tuned for a review on the Shadow's Maw. Actually, go watch it. It's already up. Yeah.
Yes, we filmed it a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I mean, if you think about it, a lot of Santa representations, especially a lot of more modern ones, portray him as a fighter, but a fighter of good. And it's in my opinion, more realistic take on Santa in that, yeah, he doesn't want the violence, but he also recognizes that sometimes you have to resort to it, especially if you're dealing with like other deities. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. But is Santa really
So
a
he's not
deity?
above the violence. He just, well, you know what I mean. Other mythical beings like himself. But still, it just,
Fair.
I don't know. It just shows, at least to me, that you know Santa's not above the violence. He doesn't like to do it, but he'll do it if he has to. And in this situation, it's like, okay, Rito Revolto has captured Santa and is forcing his elves to work. I'm sure Santa wouldn't mind if the Power Rangers went in there and beat the holy hell out of Rito.
Mm, I don't know. There's just something about Christmas that's inherently non-violent. It probably would have pissed a lot of people off if they had all kinds of violence in a Christmas episode.
Back then, probably,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's okay. Yeah, like I said, for the time, this was about what a standard Christmas special would be. So like I said, it had a good message, had a good story behind it, it had some good dialogue. It's just painfully obvious how low budget this was, and just
Mm,
and the fact that they were trying to get no name actors, or like in the in terms of the kids and stuff. It's like we just need to get some kids in here just to read some lines, which is fair enough. But it's like
that's fair.
with the popularity of Power Rangers, I would have thought, I would have hoped maybe, especially for the main character, the main kid character, they might have actually went out of their way to get a child actress. What are you doing?
Nothing.
Your eyes are darting around.
No, sorry.
But I was saying, I would have hoped that they might have, gotten some child actress who was just beginning her career and would use this as a springboard, because as popular as it is, as it was at the time, it would have been a great gig for an up-and-coming actress to get and to show their acting chops. Then again, if he'd have done that, she probably would have outacted the Rangers, and that would not have been best for business.
Mm,
Well, that's neither here nor there.
pretty much.
So what did you think of the episode?
I already said what I thought of the episode.
Did you?
Yes.
Kicked it off with me, but that's okay.
Yes,
All right.
and then I said my part, then you picked up again.
Fair enough. So yeah, I'm dreaming of a White Ranger.
Yeah.
It's fun. Go check it out if you're a fan of old school Power Rangers. You want to see what old school Power Rangers is about. This is a good episode for that.
Yep,
Just don't expect to see any actual Power Rangers.
Yep, it's available on the MMPR DVD sets, the Legacy Collection, all the good stuff like that. It's on Netflix. Go check it out. Good fun little episode to watch for the holidays.
It was better than Alpha's Magical Christmas.
Yeah, well, that's not hard to do. See last year's Christmas special for details.
Indeed.
Also, credit them for being equal opportunity. They had a Hanukkah song in there.
They did. That I approve of that. That was good.
Indeed. Although, given how racially insensitive Power Rangers tends to appear and how much they attempt to accommodate for that, I'm kind of shocked they're almost in a Kwanzaa song, but yeah. Anyway, so that's
By the way,
that.
am I the only one who thought that Kimberly's parents were way too young to be Kimberly's parents?
I thought her mother looked okay. Her dad looked a little too young.
See, I thought the mother looked a little young.
Fair enough.
But, you get who you can get, and it worked.
Yep. So, next on our list is the Power Ranger Samurai, not Super Samurai, regular Samurai, Christmas special, entitled Christmas Together, Friends Forever. This episode was a special that aired following the episode of Samurai on December 10th of 2011. And basically, it's a clip show. The Rangers reflect on their first year together. Emily's typing a letter to her sister Serena, talking about all the things that have happened, and some of the others think back on some of the stuff that's happened to them over the course of the season. There is no Antonio, interestingly enough. And as it's a clip show, we also see some nice clips of Bulk and Spike, doing stuff for the holidays. They see a motorcycle in the window in a shop. Bulk tries to build a bike. It doesn't really work. They get each other presents. It's kind of nice. The Samurai Master Mentor G gets a tree. They decorate the Christmas tree. They all have presents. Mia bakes cookies.
Also, it's a Bulk and Spike clip show too, because Bulk reminisces and you get your comedy montage of Bulk being a dumbass.
Yeah.
Also, they never say what happens with the cookies, do they? She just mentions them, and then they're never taken out of the oven.
Pretty
I just
much.
realized that.
Yep.
She burned the cookies. Vintage Mia.
Yep. So then the clip show. At the end, they all open presents, but Mike doesn't have any. And he gets an envelope that tells him to go to the front door where he finds a green motocross bike, which he rides off on in excitement. But upon coming home, they tell him they didn't hear the motorcycle sound. And he said he gave it to these two guys in the park that didn't have anything. And the episode ends with Santa riding in front of the moon, wishing everyone a Merry Christmas, followed by Bogan Spike on the motorcycle, doing a loop-de-loop in front of the moon, following Santa, and also wishing everyone a happy holidays.
Yeah.
Which was cute.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was nice. We saw a little more that, Emily is, right, that Serena's still in the picture, that whole development of Emily's sister being the attendant Yellow Ranger, but being unable to assume the duties due to illness. So they followed up on that a little bit. They followed up on the Rangers, what they've learned about each other over the years and how they kind of feel about each other. Is really more character development than most of the episodes gave them, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of ironic. So it was a lot of fun to see that. What do you think?
I enjoyed the episode, aside from the fact it was a clip show. If they hadn't used this as an excuse to make a clip show, I would probably say this was better than this is probably the best Power Rangers Christmas special I've seen, not including the Mega Force one.
Fair enough.
The Mega Force one I really liked. See our aforementioned previous year's review for that. The Robo Night Before Christmas.
Yep.
But this was a really good one. It was well written, decently acted, good messages behind it. And overall, it was just a well put together episode. Again, no Antonio, no actual Rangers. They don't actually morph because, no fighting. It's just them on Christmas, so they actually get a day off, which is weird.
Yeah, but we see them morphed in the clip show footage.
We did. And actually, ironically enough, they don't use any symbol power either, which I'm like, huh.
No, they only use symbol power in the clip show footage too.
Yep, I guess they had no budget for this. No special effects budget.
Evidently not.
But it was still a good episode, and
Indeed.
Yeah, I like what Mike does.
In all fairness,
that's pretty much the message of the entire episode.
Yeah, in all fairness, the same thing was with the Halloween special Party Monsters. They had no budget on that one either. That was the monsters reminiscing on the fights, and that was their clip show.
Right. I believe that one actually came straight out of Sheen Kenjer, because I believe Sheen Kenjer did that for their Halloween.
Fair enough.
But the Christmas one, I believe Saban came up with that himself.
Probably.
Which worked. It worked.
Indeed.
And it was fun.
Interestingly, both those episodes are written by Amit Balmic, actually.
Both the Christmas episodes?
No, the Christmas episode and the Halloween episode.
Ah, fair enough.
The Christmas one is Chill Donnellan with Amit Balmic, and the Halloween one is James W. Bates with Amit Balmic.
Fair enough. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I wish there would have been an Antonio. It felt kind of weird. They mentioned Antonio and stuff like that, and he's just not there for Christmas. It's like, really, dude? You got something else better to do on Christmas?
Probably went home to his family. He did have parents in the flashback, lest you forget.
Yes, but I thought he had moved into the Sheba house with everybody else when he became a ranger. Well, because I thought one of the tenets of being a samurai, once you become a samurai and a samurai ranger, is you have to cut your ties with your family. They established that in like episode 2. Well,
Emily's sending a letter to Serena, so clearly that shit ain't true. And
but the difference is Serena is also a samurai.
True, but the fact of the matter is she's still family and not there. And Antonio's never been a conventional samurai. He's only a samurai because he trained himself and he hacked a phone to make his own morpher.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, with Serena, let's put it to you this way. If the Nihilux ever tried to attack Serena, she'd probably kick all their asses.
Not if she's that sick that she can't be a ranger.
She could probably still defend herself.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But anyway, so that's a Samurai Christmas special. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Very good stuff.
Indeed. So yes, those are the Power Rangers portion of the program over. Tuning in next year because we're going to do the Zeo Christmas special entitled what's I think entitled? Oh, A Season to Remember, and we'll also be looking at the Super Samurai Christmas special, which is entitled Stuck on Christmas. So we will get to those next year. Moving on to our non-Power Rangers portion of the program, we're going to take a look at the 2000 release of the live-action version of Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, starring Jim Carrey as the Grinch.
Yes.
Which has a really good cast, also featuring Jeffrey Tambor as Mayor Mayhew, Christine Baranski as Martha Mayhouvier, Bill Irwin, Molly Shannon, Clinton Howard, Mindy Sterling, Anthony Hopkins narrating and introducing Taylor Momsen as Cindy Lou Who.
That was Jeffrey Tambor? Holy crap.
You know those Jeffrey Tambor?
New. And am I lagging on your end?
Not really. Am I lagging on your end?
I don't know, sometimes it seems like it takes you a second or two to answer me.
Okay.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too terrible, so I think we're okay. But yeah, I never realized it was Jeffrey Tambor.
Indeed.
For the record, I haven't seen the movie in a while. I think I saw it like way back when it first aired, or when it first came out. I probably saw it on like TV after that, and then I've seen bits and pieces of it on TV. So yeah. The only reason I have anything in my mind right now is because I recently saw a, well, sort of review of it. So yeah, it's like a parody type review. It's funny review, but that's the only reason why I have the movie fresh in my mind. And I have to say that movie's creepy.
So once again, using other people's opinions instead of your own. Nicely done, Marcus Shadow.
No, I don't care about their opinions. That's the only reason why I remember anything about the movie is because they showed footage from the movie in the parody review.
Well, yeah, I would imagine they would.
But yeah, the movie is creepy. Just the way they look, I'm just like, okay, you're creeping me out. And especially the Grinch. It's like, wow, that's like nightmare fuel right there.
I don't think it's quite that bad, but yeah, it's definitely a different look. For the record, of course, the film stars Jim Carrey as the Grinch, who the film expands on more of the backstory of the character and exactly how this works. We're sort of establishing the Grinch and that he lives up on Mount Crumpin and doesn't like the Who's, and the Who's love Christmas. We set all that up. We established Cindy Lou Who, played by Taylor Momsen, the daughter of Lou who is the Whoville postmaster. And we see the general overconsumption of commercial goods that prevail Whoville around this time of year, and how much they love Christmas. And basically, Cindy Lou Who is concerned that everyone is missing the point of Christmas, and which is about being together, family, caring for each other, and not about the overconsumption of the presents and shit. And she becomes interested in the Grinch's history and becomes she becomes aware of the Grinch's existence when she runs into him at the post office as he's sabotaging the mail, and she kind of becomes interested in him and starts trying to find out more about him and why it is that everybody knows about him and nobody will speak about him, and why he hates Christmas so much. In the backstory flashbacks, we find out that the Grinch arrived in Whoville by mistake due to a strange wind blowing that particular night, because Who's are not born, they blow in Who Pumpercellas. And he was adopted by two elderly sisters, and he was different as a child, but he never really showed any bad tendencies until one day at school when he had shaved and put together a custom gift for Martha Mayhouvier, the girl he had a crush on. But unfortunately, because he botched his shaving job, and he got mocked by soon-to-be mayor Augustus Mayhew and his buddies, and got humiliated in front of the class, which led him to hate Christmas, which is why he retreated to Mount Crumpin and hasn't come back down. And he became sort of an urban legend due to his brief sightings in the intervening 20 or 30 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cindy Lou Who decides to that the Grinch he just needs to be reminded though about the good things of Christmas. So she nominates him to be the as she goes to for the Jubilation nominations to be the holiday cheermeister, and she nominates the Grinch, which Mayor Mayhew tries to get around, but to very little avail. And so they said, well, if he shows up, he could be the holiday cheermaster. So she actually goes up to Mount Crumpet to invite him personally. He tries to scare her off and be all scary, but he's just Jim Carrey, so instead he just comes off as being hilarious. So she basically shrugs him off and says, I nominated you for this thing. And he's like, he dressed her up. She's like, well, it's an award you won. He's like, oh, really? I won. And he's like, yeah, Martha Mayhew is going to see you as a winner and everything else, so he agrees to go. He arrives down there, but unfortunately, after some rather annoying celebration, and he's going to judge the pudding contest, the fudge contest, and they put him in a ridiculous holiday sweater and whatnot. When they do the present exchange, he gets a razor, which just brings back all his terrible memories, and he goes nuts and violently destroys the city and burns the tree down and kind of goes nuts. Luckily, they have a spare tree. And retreats back up to Mount Crumpet, which is kind of terrible. And it's at this point that the Grinch, man than ever, decides to steal Christmas and puts together his plan to do so while singing his own theme song and welding together his sleigh, and he does his Grinch thing. After doing so, Cindy Lou Who decides to go visit him on Christmas Day, despite there being no presents, because she was realizing the true meaning of Christmas was being with each other, not about the presents. Upon going to visit him, she actually ends up on the sleigh as the Grinch is about to chuck it over the side of Mount Crumpet, and that is the point at which his heart grows 3 sizes, and he manages to display the strength of 10 Grinches plus 2 to lift the sleigh and save Cindy Lou Who, and then ride back down to the city and triumph to give back the presents. He apologizes to everyone for stealing them, and the policeman, after hearing that he was sorry, decides not to arrest him. And Martha Mayhew, after realizing that even since they were kids at school, she does love the Grinch, she just was denying it to herself because of the violent Christmas outrage. So she tells Mayor Mayhew to stop it. She doesn't want to marry him. She gets to be with the Grinch, and he gets to carve the roast beast. And we fade out to Anthony Hopkins' wonderful narration.
I kind of wish the classic Grinch song had been in this movie.
What do you mean?
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
It is.
Is it? I don't remember it being in this movie.
Oh, it's in the movie. It's not sung by that performer, but the song itself is in.
Ah.
It's not the original recording, but they do have a performance of the song in there. It's actually performed while he is welding the sleigh together and building the sleigh.
Ah.
And there's a funny portion of the song where there's the off-screen narration guy is just singing the song. I think you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Isn't there? I thought it was sung by more than just him. Interestingly enough. Let's see here. I mean, the original, of course, performed by Thurl Ravenscroft in the animated film, but there is another version that was in the live-action movie, but I don't see the details on that, because at least a portion of it is actually performed by Jim Carrey himself while he's assembling the sleigh. Hence why I mentioned he actually sings his own theme song. But
fair enough.
There's actually a playover of the song being played over, and it's playing in the background. And then there's occasionally as the song is playing as he's in the montage, he'll just pop in the middle of the montage and sing part of the song. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch, and then Grinch lifts up his welding mask. Your heart's an empty hole. He jumps in randomly in the song. It's kind of funny the way they worked it out. So that's fun. So the song is in there. They did edit it slightly. They changed the ending of it. They cut off, I believe, the last verse. So instead of going out to an ending with, I wouldn't touch you with a 29.5-foot pole, and stuff like that. They cut off the last portion of the song, and instead it ends at the. Given the choice between the two of you, I take the. And then Jim Carrey blows up the mask and said, "Seasick crocodile." As he sings, and he's spinning around on a thing over top of the sleigh, and then he gets sick and he throws up off screen.
Fair enough.
So yeah, the song is in there. I edited it in this different version, but it is in there. So
fair enough.
Yeah, good song. Good song.
What a mistake then.
Indeed, yeah. The song, they would never take out the song.
If you can get past the creepiness, it's actually a pretty good movie. I like the messages. I like a lot of what they did with this movie. As I mentioned to you before this recording, I still found it a little strange that the backstory that they gave him. I don't know, for whatever reason, I just don't like his backstory. But it's kind of cool that they
Well,
gave him one. So
yeah, it was kind of a fun explanation of why he hates Christmas because he was always different as a kid, and he got mocked and destroyed at school at Christmas, and that's why he hates Christmas. It makes sense.
mhm.
And it worked in the plot line with Mayor Mayhew being the bad guy and having been the bully that bullied the Grinch as a kid, and now being the mayor and in charge of trying to stop the Grinch from being the holiday cheermeister makes sense. Plus, again, Martha Mayhew, him trying to win over Martha Mayhew, who has secretly loved the Grinch since she was a girl and just couldn't admit it to herself.
Mhm.
So it kind of works in all the plot points. It's pretty good. The performances in this are great. Jim Carrey does a great job as the Grinch, even if he is being slightly over the top Jim Carrey. It works for the character for the most part. Jeffrey Tambor does a great job as being a bad guy as Mayor Mayhew. He does a great job.
It's Jeffrey Tambor.
Yeah.
It's Jeffrey Tambor. He always does a great job as the bad guy.
Yeah. So, not necessarily, he's not always the bad guy.
I didn't say he was always the bad guy. I say he always does a great job as the bad guy.
Right enough. I never really knew him as a bad guy. I knew him as the depressed lawyer of the hospital. So, Scrubs.
Yeah, the main character, the little girl, she did a really good job.
Yes, Taylor Momsen did a great job as Cindy Lou Who, as she gets to sing a version of the other big song from this entitled "Where Are You Christmas," written and recorded by Faith Hill, but Taylor Momsen sings a version within the production, and she does a wonderful job as an actress. Yeah, you might also know Taylor Momsen better as the actress who portrayed the character of Jenny Humphrey on the CW series Gossip Girl. It's her other
I've
really.
not seen that show.
Yeah, that's her other really well-known acting role. She's not coming to minor things here and there, but right now she's kind of she's quit acting and she's serving as the front lead for the rock band The Pretty Reckless.
So she's an actual singer. Fair enough.
She is an actual singer. She's the front for the band The Pretty Reckless over there. She does lead vocals and the lead guitar.
Nice.
Indeed.
Follow your dreams.
Yep. So fun stuff. Actually, no, she's not lead guitar. She's rhythm guitar. There's another guy on lead guitar. Sorry. Anywho, yeah. So there you go. So yeah, she did a wonderful job in this movie. Really helped pick it up and keep it going because she was kind of the main character aside from the Grinch himself, because she was the one that doubted the whole thing about Christmas and what was going on. She was the one that wanted to go find the Grinch and bring him a part of Christmas, trying to explain to everybody that it's not about the commercialism, it's about the being together with family. So that worked out really well, and she did a great job. Christine Baranski as Martha Mayhuvier, her job was basically to be eye candy. It worked.
Kind of. But just those faces. I mean, yeah, I know they were trying to recreate, the Dr. Seuss look for the characters. Yeah. But God, those faces were creepy as hell.
Yeah, the Who faces were a little bit different. I will give you that.
Yeah, I do have to say though, with Jim Carrey as the Grinch, I also have to say the one thing that did not work for me with him as the Grinch is the fact that he's Jim Carrey. Because, okay, the physical comedy, fair enough, that works for the Grinch. The physical presence that Jim Carrey brought to the role worked. But, and I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a huge fan of the old cartoon, but when Jim Carrey tries to do the Grinch grin, it just doesn't work because it's Jim Carrey. He looks way too damn goofy doing that grin. Because it's the Jim Carrey grin. It's not a Grinch grin, even behind all that makeup. You can see that it's the Jim Carrey grin. I'm just like, no, that doesn't work. It's supposed to be scary. It's not supposed to be hilarious.
I thought it looked a hell of a lot like the Grinch grin. I thought it was really damn good, personally. I liked how it looked.
Fair enough. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just always see Jim Carrey behind it. I'm just like,
That's fair enough. Also in the movie are Bill Irwin as Cindy Lou Who's father, Lulu Who, the postman of Whoville, who is the kind of advocate for the commercials throughout most of the film. But at the end of the film, he's the one that stares up to Mayor Mayhew after he tries to badmouth the Grinch, talking about destroying Christmas, and starts basically threatening Cindy Lou for being the one who brought the Grinch upon them. And Lou stands up and he's like, no, you can't kill Christmas, Mr. Mayor, because it's all about the gifts or the lights or it's not being with your family. I have everything I need for Christmas right here. And he hugs his family, and that's where everybody kind of turns against the mayor. So Bill Irwin does a great job in that scene and throughout the course of the movie, being kind of the bubbling but nice guy that everybody likes.
Yeah, he basically plays Rick Moranis in this movie. Let's be honest.
To an extent, yes. That's not totally inaccurate.
I mean, that's what I always saw, and I know that might be a little stereotyped just because his character happens to wear glasses, and Rick Moranis in most of his roles happens to wear glasses. But
Well,
just
maybe. I don't know.
with the look and the way he was acting, it's like I almost felt like that role was written for Rick Moranis, and he said no.
It's entirely possible. I could see it. But Bill Oren did a great job. Molly Shannon as
Oh,
Betty
he
Lou,
did,
who
yeah.
is Cindy's mother, did a wonderful job.
Mm-hmm.
There's a subplot where she has a rivalry with Martha May Whovier in the lighting contest over who will have the best lights, and that's kind of fun to watch. Clinton Howard is always a joy to see in anything. He plays Hugh Breeze, the mayor's sycophantic aide who wants to actually be the mayor and wants to be the next mayor. So he's doing absolutely everything to be Mayor Mayhew. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
That's always great. There's a few others in there. Like I said, Anthony Hopkins is in there as the narrator. He does the opening. I love the opening narration of this movie, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
The narration is yeah. Anthony Hopkins does a great job with the narration, and the way they worked it in rhyme, and it sounds like it could be from the book, even though it's not from the book. It worked out pretty well. A lot of what he narrates during the course of the movie is from the book, but they added a lot of dialogue at the beginning and end and here and there to fill out the narration for the film because there's a lot more going on than there was in the book, so it works out.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins is one of those voices that you want to be your nerd. You want that voice in your movie. He's in the same company as like Morgan Freeman and James Earl Jones. It's just you get them, you're done. That's it. The movie sold.
Pretty much.
Anthony Hopkins has a fantastic voice.
Yeah, he does.
Sir Anthony Hopkins. But yeah. Yeah, overall, I think the movie is really good. If you can get over again the creepiness, like I don't know, just to me, this movie is. I think it was rated to be a kids movie, was it not?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. And the fact of the matter is, to me, it doesn't. It's they got the feel of it right, but my God, it would give a child nightmares. Just it would. I'm sorry.
I disagree. I think, it's a little unusual to see the noses, but you get used to it, and after a while, you don't even notice them. They're just kind of there. It's just sort of it's different, but you get used to it after a while. But yeah, it was released to the intent of being a family film. I don't have an indication of what the rating on the film was, but I'm assuming it was probably a PG.
Mm-hmm. Or PG-13, but yeah.
No, I think it's probably a PG.
Yeah, I would say it is a really good family film. However,
it's a PG.
It's a really good family film. But if you intend to show this to your children or children that you know, expose them to the book first. Let them get used to what they look like. Because if this is their first exposure to the Who's in Whoville, they might get a little creeped out.
Yeah. It should be noted the film actually won the Academy Award for Best Makeup for that, and was also nominated for Best Art Direction and Best Costume Design.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, they did a great job with the Grinch in all his various ages.
Indeed.
And the I'm assuming that was a boy that they got, but the young child they got to do the younger Grinch, phenomenal actor. He did a great job.
He did. That was Josh Ryan Evans, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's pretty good. He's well known for the role of Timmy on the soap opera Passions back in the day.
Okay.
As was among a variety of other roles. He's appeared on Ally McBeal, Seventh Heaven. He originally appeared in Baby Geniuses in 1999.
Fair enough.
It should be noted he actually suffers from a form of dwarfism, so in actuality he's a lot older than what he appears. Even so, actually he passed away. Actually, now that I look at this, he didn't actually. Yeah, he actually passed away in shortly after this film came out in 2002. He was only 20 years old.
So this was like the last film he did.
Yeah, close. At the time that he passed away, he would have been actually 18 at the time.
Oh, that's sad. He was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, achondroplasia, a form of dwarfism, giving the voice and appearance of a small child.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's a complication of a congenital heart condition that took him, unfortunately.
That's too bad. Rest in peace, my friend. Rest in peace.
Indeed. Rest in peace. He did a good job. Alright, well. With that sad news over, yeah, overall, The Grinch is a great movie. It's a lot of fun. Check it out if you get a chance. It's a great feeling in the movie. Between the narration, the messages, yeah, expose your children to the book and the animated special first. But this is a fun adaptation. Something a little bit different that the families can enjoy together. If you're not one of those elitists that's that loyal to the cartoon, you can make it work. It's a good special.
I think the other thing that made this a little bit creepier than it probably should have is they tried, because it's live action, I think they tried to do a more realistic take on it, like how they would be and how they would look if they were actually real. And when they did that, they trying to take those faces and put them on a human. Yeah, that's creepy.
A little bit.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Jim Carrey, it'd be even creepier.
Fair enough.
I like Jim Carrey.
Mm-hmm. He is good. Yeah. So overall, that was that's a wonderful take on the film. Check it out if you have an opportunity. It's available on DVD and probably Blu-ray by this point.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah, go check it out. Give it a rent. It's worth a good holiday watch. If you're looking for something fun to watch, and you're not, that big of a Dr. Seuss, strict loyalist, and you're willing to be open to an interpretation. I think you'll enjoy it.
All right, and I'm sure it's on Netflix and Amazon Prime as well, more than likely.
More likely than not, yeah, you can find it. It's available. All right, well, Marcus Shadow, thank you for joining me here. Any final thoughts on anything we reviewed tonight?
Not really. Power Rangers is Power Rangers, so it's going to be cheesy and it's going to be relatively low budget and more than likely not written very well. But like I said, the Samurai one was written pretty well. The first one had good messages, so there's good stuff in there if you can overlook the crap, basically. And I think that's pretty much how it is for all Power Rangers. They have good stuff in there, but they just have so much bad stuff that sometimes it's hard to see the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the Grinch too, so go check that out. And like we said, if you have young kids that you want to show this to, read them the book. First, let them read the book and show them the cartoon. Also, I think it's a good idea to show them the cartoon first, so they can get familiar with like the music, because as Jim pointed out, the Grinch theme song is actually in the live action movie, and I think it'd be good to be familiar with that song before going into that.
I could agree with that.
But yeah, check the movie out. It's available on multiple mediums, more than likely. And yeah, it's a great family film with some great messages, and it could open some good dialogues between you and your children and your family and whatnot.
Indeed. Alrighty. Well, Marcus Shadow, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. And to all of you out there, to you and yours, have yourselves a Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year. We'll see you coming up. Lots of great stuff at the X-Pad in the new year. Larry the Phoenix will have some good reviews. I will hopefully have one more this year, because I do hope in the next week and a half to finish reading the Batman files over here and do my part for December. So hopefully I can get that done. If not, I might hold off till another time. But stay tuned for that, and of course stay tuned in January for our upcoming end of year awards on Around the Pound will be coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned for that as well. For Marcus Shadow, until next time, I'm James Phoenix. We'll see you next time. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year.